one of the things when I found out about you guys several months ago that just really upset me is you guys are honorably discharged veterans. You served honorably and left honorably, and then, in my opinion, dishonorably discharged from our country. If you want to give us a quick little description, also we have Father Rogers in here with us too. If you want to give us a quick little description of what you got going on, you know, what your fight is, and then what you guys are doing down there in Tijuana for all the other veterans, fire away.
Sure. Well, basically, my name is Hector Barajas. I'm a deported veteran. I served honorably with the 82nd Airborne. I served legally. I had a legal residency. And basically, we're being deported for committing some type of crime or after the military. We have veterans that are served in combat all the way from the Vietnam War into the current Iraq War that are being deported to different countries around the world. And we're eligible for benefits, a lot of disabled veterans that are deported as well. And we are calling from a shelter that we have set up right here in Tijuana, where we take them in and we try to help them out with different types of help. It's like psychological and also by feeding them and housing them. And raising awareness through a lot of the interviews and actions that we do.
So one of the things that when I'm talking about this with people, one of the things that they ask me is, well, they committed a crime, and then I tell them these are things that a lot of us wouldn't even get arrested for. Mm-hmm. Number one. Number two, these are guys that were promised by recruiters that they were going to get their citizenship by going into the service, and they served honorably. If anybody deserves citizenship, it's these guys. So, you know, you can't hear me at all?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So talk to people about, you know, the idea that just because you committed a petty crime or maybe even a little bit bigger than a petty crime, where a lot of people don't even go to jail here for, talk about that.
Well, basically, one of the things that we talk about is from the get-go, we're taught to be a killing machine. Or the way our thought process has changed. A lot of the guys, when they come back from combat, they have post-traumatic syndrome, and they're more prone to having a drinking, to having a violent situation where they might lose their temper. So yeah, you know, these guys come back, and a lot of it's connected to the service. We're not asking to not do the time because most of the guys have served a prison sentence, actually all of them. But we are we're asking for treatment, the continuation of treatment, and also for these guys to maybe go back to veterans courts, because we didn't have veteran courts at one time. So, you know, instead of going to prison, most of these guys would end up going to some kind of treatment through the veterans courts that we have in place today. So we just, you know, we want these guys to continue be living with their families as well.
This is Father Rogers. How are you, Hector?
How's it going, Father Dermot? Good to see you.
Hey, sorry, hey, Hector. We're getting some messages on Facebook from people that they can't hear us; they can only hear you. Can you do me a favor and just let everybody know, whoever's listening, that we're trying to figure out what's wrong? But if you and Yolanda want to talk while we try and figure it out, but just tell people they can't hear anything I'm saying right now. So if you can just tell people that that's what's going on, and then you can go ahead and talk next situation. I appreciate it while we try and figure it out.
Sure. Basically, we're having technical difficulties, and but Yolanda's gonna. Can she talk about what she's doing with her group while you guys are waiting?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you just tell people that for whatever reason they can't hear us, but they can hear you, so you guys are going to talk so we get it fixed?
So while they fix what's going on, Yolanda's going to talk about her group in Spanish, and so here she goes. Háblese tu grupo.
Hola, mi nombre es Yolanda Varona. Somos un grupo de madres de Dreamers y ciudadanos de Estados Unidos. Hemos sido deportadas. Estamos organizándonos como grupo porque queremos regresar a casa. Nuestra misión y visión es una reunificación familiar. No queremos quedarnos lejos de nuestros hijos. Estamos luchando por volver a casa legalmente. Queremos que se nos dé la oportunidad de presentarnos frente a un juez. Muchas de nosotras no lo hemos tenido. Nuestro único delito ha sido trabajar para mantener a nuestra familia unida. Estamos en una campaña en este momento de reunir 500 cartas para presentarlas a congresistas, precisamente para que trabajen en una ley, para que nos ayuden a volver a casa. Estamos uniéndonos cada semana en nuestro grupo. Estamos trabajando con un psicólogo precisamente para que no lleguemos a tener una situación de drogadicción, prostitución o algún tipo de vicio. Queremos regresar como salimos, queremos regresar dignas, queremos que sepan que mientras estamos aquí en Tijuana, estamos trabajando también con niños ciudadanos de Estados Unidos que viven en albergues. Estamos cuidando de ellos en lo que podemos, estamos limitados. Estos niños carecen de los servicios básicos fundamentales que pudieran tener en su país. Queremos también que sepan que mientras ellos están aquí necesitamos que hagan algo por sus propios ciudadanos. Queremos que los congresistas, el presidente sepan que los niños están sufriendo aquí a consecuencia de una deportación y que es muy difícil poder vivir día a día. No tenemos una vida, nuestra familia está en Estados Unidos y no es posible vivir lejos de ellos. Esto es algo inhumano. Estamos viviendo en una época retrógrada. No creo que para Estados Unidos el separar familias sea un valor cristiano. Entonces queremos por favor que nos ayuden, que nos apoyen y que nos den la oportunidad de ver a un juez.
Hello, Mark, were you guys able to fix the sound situation?
It sounds like my mic was out. I'm not sure. No, that goes good. Okay, so then we're just going to use my mic.
Can you hear Arisa? She lost him again.
I can hear you
Hector,
guys.
can you guys hear her?
Yes, we can definitely
Can you
hear.
hear Arisa?
Sure, we can hear the other person on the other mic.
How about me right now? Can you hear me?
Now I hear more.
Okay, let's try this again. We'll see if this is working. Bernie, can you hear us? Okay, I think my microphone's good. Hector, can you hear it?
Yes.
I think everything's good.
All right, good. So I think we're back on the air. So I wonder how long we were broadcasting off the air without knowing it. Okay, so we were talking about with Hector about the guys, you know, that committed some crimes and they're crimes typically that a lot of us up here would not have even been arrested for, much less deported for. They serve, you know, their time in the military and they serve their time for whatever crimes they committed and then are exiled. They have benefits available to them, but they can't access them. And the only way they get to come back is when they die, they can get a full honorable burial, which is ridiculous to me. And I think that we just lost a deported veteran this week, correct?
Yes, we lost a veteran that was US Army. He was fighting his claim through the Veterans Administration, and you know, he died without any benefits, without disabled. But the only thing he's allowed is when he goes back to the United States, he's going to be given a burial and a funeral, just like any other American soldier, and a flag is going to be given to his mother, and they're going to say thank you for your service. And I think it's insane to do that, you know, to only be allowed to return when you die. So.
And if he had access to his VA benefits, he'd probably still be able to talk to us tonight.
I'm 100% sure that if he had access to the VA benefits and he had a better life, you know, health-wise and with his family and in a better hospital, he would definitely be alive. So I think we hold the administration and the current government, you know, liable for his death, you know, because he would be alive with us today.
And Father Rogers, you had a question for...
Well, it wasn't much a question. I was thinking, Mark, when you were talking about the levels of crime that caused these great men to be deported. You know, back in 2014, remember, we passed a bill to start 40 prison. And Prop 47 is attempted to clean out the jails, to reduce a lot of felonies to misdemeanors. In fact, these guys, the vast majority of them, would qualify under those positions for reduction in the sentence, because they could only get a hearing before the appropriate court. These guys could be returned to their families and their communities and business so much.
Well, one of the other things too, I had this discussion a few weeks ago with someone who was just so vehement in his, they should never be able to come back. They shouldn't have broke the law. Well, we send these guys off to war. They come back mentally injured. They come back physically injured, and we love them when they go to war. And then when they come back, we don't take care of them. So we don't give them the proper treatment that they need for their mental issues and for their physical issues. A lot of them end up on the street, or they end up addicted to painkillers. And then the next thing you know, they're committing some petty crimes because of that, and it's on us. It's not on them.
If these guys were not permanent residents, they were regular U.S. citizens, then all those services would be made at the peak, right here in the United States, like 30 miles north of where they're standing right now. They would be provided with all those services. Gonzalo China would still be alive today, and many others who were deported would find themselves being productive U.S. citizens today.
Well, Hector, what do you feel about that?
Well, I feel like I said, I definitely feel that if we were in the States, we'd be, some of these guys would still be alive, and we should definitely get more treatment, better treatment, and also, if these guys, if they had died in combat, they would be American heroes. He's a Vietnam era veteran. If he had died in combat, his name would be on the wall. I think it's a tragedy what the American government is doing with our men.
One of the things that I always find ironic about when people talk about, the mantra, support our troops, and that's really very limited in what they actually mean by that. They don't really want to support them when they come home. They don't really want to support all of the troops. It's really just the ones who are righteous citizens, and I think that's this sort of false rallying cry that people don't really stand behind and realize that we're actually letting people die and get sent away from their families.
It rings very hollow, doesn't it? I mean, when you think about it, support our troops, American heroes, American flag, and as soon as one of those men or women need our help,
we turn our back.
We turn our back.
And as legislatures, they cut their benefits, they deny their benefits out of one side of their mouth, and then out of the other side of their mouth, if you're not supportive how they think it should be, you're unpatriotic.
And
it's ridiculous.
And they talk about supporting the troops, and you're very right about that. When you wear the uniform, there's no distinction about whether you're a green card soldier or you're an American citizen. You wear the same uniform.
They're not doing anything. Definitely not doing anything bullshit.
We are what? Isn't that the mark?
And
That's true.
Go
ahead, Hector.
And when they come back with a different uniform. The uniform of injuries, of scars, of mental disabilities. And you're right. When you come back homeless, and when you come back and you end up being addicted, and you end up on meds where there's 22 suicides every day, and that's because of some of the medication that they're taking. And where you support the troops? I guess it's only for U.S. citizens, but not for green card soldiers or immigrants.
Yeah, I would even say, Hector, to be honest with you, the only difference between U.S. citizen troops and green card troops is the U.S. citizen ones don't get deported. I still don't think they treat them correctly.
Mm-hmm.
We're 4 blocks, where our studio is, we're 4 blocks away from where probably there's 5,000 homeless people, and I bet you 75 or 80% of them are U.S. citizen veterans that are not being taken care of correctly. It's shameful, it's infuriating. Go ahead, Hector.
And we leave no man behind, and we all we should be with our families, and Gonzalo should not have to have died over here without his family, separated from his family, from his mother, and we shouldn't separate children from these soldiers or these veterans, and with Yolanda as well. She could probably talk a little bit more about her situation. So I think it's inhumane to do these things, and I don't know if they caught enough of Yolanda's story. So you guys have any questions?
We'll talk to her right now. We'll switch directions. We'll switch over to Spanish, and we'll interject some English into for people that may not understand Spanish. Yolanda, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, bien, gracias.
So, tenemos el padre Rogers aquí también, y mi co-host de Parita también habla español. So, a ti lo que pasa, y a muchas otras personas allá, que separan las familias. Los niños quedan aquí y los papás los deportan. Es otra cosa que para mí yo no entiendo esa filosofía, el daño que están haciendo a los niños que no tienen ningún culpa, y el daño que están haciendo a ustedes. Si quieres hablar un poquito de eso, porque tuvimos un poco de dificultades técnicas.
Ok, sí. Realmente están haciendo un daño grandísimo, un daño que va a tener unas consecuencias enormes cuando estos niños crezcan. El vivir separados de sus padres no es saludable mentalmente, no es un valor cristiano. Es terrible estar separados de los hijos. Nos hemos puesto a pensar qué tan avanzados podemos estar en este tiempo o qué tan retrasados podemos estar al estar actuando como nazis. El primer castigo que les hacían a las mujeres era quitarle a sus hijos. Estamos viviendo con niños que viven solos en Estados Unidos separados de sus padres. Estamos viviendo con niños que viven como deportados en Estados Unidos, aún siendo ciudadanos americanos. Están careciendo de necesidades básicas, las más elementales. No hay vacunas para ellos, se les rechaza en escuelas, no hablan el idioma español, los niños no quieren estar aquí. Sin embargo, muchas madres han optado por traerlos a México para evitar una separación familiar total. Es terrible el daño que nos están haciendo. Nosotras como madres jamás, ni en nuestros peores sueños, pensamos que algún día nos iban a separar o nos iban a quitar a nuestros hijos. Esto es inhumano, esto no tiene nombres, y como consecuencia va a ser una sociedad torcida cuando estos niños crezcan, y en algún momento yo creo que ellos van a querer responsabilizar a quienes los separaron de sus familias.
So what she said, I'm going to tie it down in the summary, is that there's huge consequences for the pain and the suffering and the damage they're causing these families. They're taking parents and they're U.S. citizen-born kids, or they're kids that are covered by the DREAM Act, who can't be deported, but they're deporting their parents. So we're breaking up families, which is not an American value, and she said is not a Christian value, and it's damaging the kids, and as they grow older, the damage is going to become more evident. And again, it's something that I don't understand why we do it. Breaking up families is something that nobody should do. Yolanda, ¿cuántos padres tienen allá en este shelter, este albergue?
Nuestro grupo consiste más de, entre padres y madres, yo creo que hasta este momento somos más de 50. Y tenemos también compañeras que están viviendo en otros países con las que tenemos comunicación a diario. Estamos también hablando de países, no solo de México, sino de todo el mundo. Estamos hablando de Panamá, de Brasil, de Guatemala, Nicaragua. Esto es un efecto dominó. No solo están sufriendo los niños, nosotras sentimos día a día que nos van quitando la vida, las ganas de vivir, las fuerzas de abrir los ojos, el querer que caiga la noche para ya no tener que estar pensando qué están haciendo nuestros hijos, cuándo los vamos a volver a ver. Habrá alguien que se toque el corazón y haga un esfuerzo por hacer una legislación que nos permita presentarnos frente a un juez y decirle las razones que tenemos para permanecer en Estados Unidos. No somos criminales. Las madres que estamos aquí en el grupo somos madres con un historial limpio. Vuelvo a repetir, nuestro último delito fue haber trabajado para mantener a una familia. Muchas de nosotras somos madres solteras, somos mujeres que sufrimos violencia doméstica. Nuestras hijas, algunas sufrieron violación dentro de Estados Unidos y no hubo alguien que nos dijera que podíamos hacer algo para arreglar nuestra situación legal. Cuando nos detuvieron, tampoco nadie nos dijo que teníamos derecho a ver a un juez, y las que quisimos verlo nos dijeron que no teníamos derecho. Entonces esto quiere decir que la las mismas personas que están haciendo valer las leyes están pasando por alto el actuar como jueces, el decirnos que no tenemos derecho de nada, y ellos mismos están rompiendo sus leyes dentro de Estados Unidos. Entonces, por favor, queremos que haya alguien que pueda hacer algo por nosotras. Confiamos en que Dios tiene su mano puesta en nuestro grupo y creo fielmente que muchos vamos a volver con nuestras familias.
So, she's talking about, you know, they're law-abiding citizens. They didn't come here to break laws. They're working to maintain their families. They're coming from situations that are horrible situations to live in, to give their families a better life, and they've suffered domestic violence. There's been rape. There's been many things, and here they're picked up and nobody tells them that they actually have rights, that they have the right to go before a judge, they have the right to get a lawyer, they have the right to have a hearing, and they're just deported. You know, almost like a ATM, you know, quick, get your money and go. They pick them up and gone, and they don't let them know the rights, and so now they're separated as families. And you know, she says that they lose their will to live, which is sad, because I can't imagine being separated from my 3 kids, especially for not doing anything wrong. She says there's 50 families down there now in Tijuana, and that's just in Tijuana. They're also working with families throughout Latin America, throughout South America, Central America. You know, we did a toy drive at Christmas, and I asked Hector to send me a list of kids, and I was expecting maybe there was going to be 10 or 12 or 15 kids, and I got a list of 47 kids and their ages. And I was shocked at that, because that's just in Tijuana.
And those are only the ones we know of in Tijuana.
Exactly.
Many more besides.
Exactly. Tom? Yeah, go ahead.
Introduce to the listening audience. There's one other aspect to the whole thing, and that is that the ACLU is setting up a class action lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security, because many of these people, like Yolanda, signed voluntary departure orders.
Well, they already won that. So, yeah, they've already done it. They've already wanted to wait until it get finalized to see who's going to be able to come back. And in fact, I think they're starting to solicit people that have been deported to start working the cases and getting some of these people back here. Yolanda, estamos hablando de la demanda que puso el ACLU para la gente que firmó deportación voluntaria. ¿Usted sabe abajo de esta demanda y otras personas de allá o no sabe todavía?
Yo ya mandé mis papeles de deportación. Desafortunadamente no aplico. Una de nuestras compañeras mandó documentación y parece que ella sí va a aplicar para esta demanda. Estamos muy contentas. Queremos que toda la gente sepa que hay esta oportunidad para muchos que han sido deportados por salida voluntaria. El hecho de que yo no haya calificado no me desanima a seguir invitando a la demás gente. Creo que esto va a ser un regreso poco a poco, y el hecho de que uno de nuestros compañeros regrese es un gran triunfo para nosotros, y queremos agradecer a toda